Long ago, in a small village nestled among the rolling hills of Japan, there lived a young boy named Hiroshi. The village was known for its breathtaking cherry blossom trees that bloomed every spring, painting the landscape in shades of pink and white. Among these trees was one particularly ancient and revered cherry blossom tree, known as the Sakura of Yugen. The Sakura of Yugen was the pride of the village. Its blossoms were said to be the most beautiful in all of Japan, and it held deep cultural and spiritual significance for the villagers. Every year, during the Cherry Blossom Festival, the villagers would gather beneath its branches to celebrate the beauty of nature and honor their ancestors. Hiroshi had grown up hearing stories about the Sakura of Yugen. His grandfather, who was a village elder, often told him tales of how the tree was protected by a spirit, the spirit of the cherry blossom. This spirit, it was said, watched over the village and ensured that the tree would continue to bloom year after year, bringing joy and prosperity to the people. One spring, however, something unusual happened. As the cherry blossom season approached, the Sakura of Yugen showed no signs of life. The branches, once full of vibrant buds, remained bare and lifeless. The villagers grew concerned, fearing that something terrible had happened to the tree. Hiroshi's grandfather called a meeting of the village elders. The Sakura of Yugen has always been a symbol of our village's prosperity and harmony, he said. If the tree does not bloom, it could be a sign that the spirit of the cherry blossom is in distress. The villagers were anxious, but no one knew what could be done. They had always relied on the tree's natural cycle and the protection of the spirit, but now it seemed that something had disrupted the delicate balance. That night, as Hiroshi lay in bed, he thought about the stories his grandfather had told him. He remembered one particular tale about a hidden shrine deep in the mountains, where the spirit of the cherry blossom was said to reside. According to the legend, the spirit could be summoned by offering a special flower that bloomed only in the most remote and untouched parts of the mountains. Hiroshi knew that if there was any chance of saving the Sakura of Yugen, he had to find that flower and summon the spirit. Determined, he quietly left his house before dawn and set off towards the mountains. The journey was arduous. Hiroshi trekked through dense forests, climbed steep slopes, and crossed icy streams. The air grew colder as he ascended, and the path became more treacherous. But Hiroshi was driven by the thought of saving the Sakura of Yugen and bringing back the cherry blossoms that his village cherished. As he ventured deeper into the mountains, Hiroshi encountered various challenges. At one point, he came across a narrow ledge overlooking a deep ravine. The path was so narrow that one wrong step could mean falling into the abyss below. But Hiroshi took a deep breath, steadied himself, and carefully inched his way across the ledge. Further along the journey, Hiroshi found himself in a dark, shadowy forest. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches intertwining to block out the sunlight. It was eerily quiet, and Hiroshi could feel the weight of the forest pressing down on him. He remembered his grandfather's words. In the face of fear, one must be brave and hold on to the light within. Hiroshi closed his eyes and focused on the image of the Sakura of Yugen in full bloom. The thought of the tree's beauty and the joy it brought to the village gave him the strength to keep moving forward. After several days of traveling, Hiroshi finally reached the peak of the mountain. There, in a secluded valley, he found a small shrine, just as a legend had described. In front of the shrine was a single, delicate flower with petals as white as snow and a center that glowed faintly with a soft, pink light. Hiroshi carefully picked the flower and placed it on the shrine. He then bowed deeply and spoke from his heart, asking the spirit of the cherry blossom to save the Sakura of Yugen and restore the village's harmony. For a moment, nothing happened. The wind was still, and the valley was silent. But then, a gentle breeze began to blow, and the air filled with the scent of cherry blossoms. The petals of the flower on the shrine began to glow brighter, and a warm, comforting light enveloped Hiroshi. Suddenly, a figure appeared before him. A graceful, ethereal being, clad in robes that shimmered like the morning dew on cherry blossom petals. It was the spirit of the cherry blossom. "Young one," the spirit spoke, her voice like the rustling of leaves in the wind. "You have shown great courage and a pure heart in seeking to save the Sakura of Yugen. The tree's lifeblood has been weakened by the changing winds and the encroachment of the world. But your devotion has touched me. The spirit extended her hand, and from it flowed a stream of light that wrapped around the flower, transforming it into a radiant orb. "Take this light," she said, "and return to your village. Place it at the base of the Sakura of Yugen, and the tree will bloom once more." With deep gratitude, Hiroshi accepted the orb and thanked the spirit. He made the journey back down the mountain, the orb guiding his path and filling him with a sense of peace and purpose. When Hiroshi returned to the village, the elders and villagers gathered around the Sakura of Yugen, anxiously waiting to see what would happen. Hiroshi knelt at the base of the tree and gently placed the orb into the earth. Immediately, the ground began to tremble softly, and the branches of the Sakura of Yugen quivered. One by one, tiny buds began to appear, quickly blossoming into the most beautiful cherry blossoms the village had ever seen. The air was filled with the sweet scent of the flowers, and the villagers cheered in amazement and joy. Hiroshi's grandfather embraced him, tears of pride and relief in his eyes. "You have saved the Sakura of Yugen in our village," he said. "Your courage and respect for our traditions have brought the spirit's blessing upon us." From that day on, Hiroshi was celebrated as a hero in the village. The Cherry Blossom Festival that year was the most joyous the village had ever known, and the story of Hiroshi's journey to save the Sakura of Yugen was passed down through generations. And so, the Sakura of Yugen continued to bloom each spring, its blossoms a reminder of the importance of courage, respect for nature, and the preservation of traditions that connect us to the world and to each other. Moral of the story: respect for nature and tradition is essential for maintaining harmony in the world.